Good morning, everybody. It's Lynn. Today is Saturday, July 8th, 2023. I'm making a necklace using pearls and crystals, and I wanted to share it with you. We have done designs that are similar, but this one is a little bit different in that the way we're putting it together. So let me show you a little bit about what I'm using here. I have some 8mm crystal pearls, some 4x6 crystal rondelles, 4mm crystal pearls, and 4mm crystal bicones. These little components here, the little squares, I purchased at Joann's. They do still have these, or mine did a couple of days ago when I was there. This is the clasp that we're going to be using. Okay, that also came from either Michael's or Joann's. I don't remember for sure which one, but I did see them at one of the stores a few days ago. These little crystal drops they're from my stash, and I'm putting them on some, excuse me, gold ball head pins. I'm going to use this type of ear wire. These I purchased from Fire Mountain Gems, but they're pretty available in a lot of places. I know Temu carries them. I bought them there, and they were fine also. This this little crystal drop, I purchased a long time ago from Fire Mountain Gems. It's going to be a part of the front drop of our necklace. I have a small piece of 22 gauge gold wire. I don't have ball head pins that are long enough to do our drop on the front of our necklace, so I'm going to make one. I have a couple of 8mm jump rings here attaching to our clasp, and the other wire that I'm using for the components or stations is 20 gauge wire. This is what I'm using for that, artistic wire, 20 gauge. Purchase this at Hobby Lobby, but you can use the wire of your choice. It doesn't have to be the artistic wire brand. And what I'm going to do is show you how I'm doing these components, and then show you how I'm going to make the drop, and then I'm going to go ahead and make some of these, and then I'll come back and show you how to put the necklace together on the final step and how to make the earrings. So give me just a second. I'm going to continue with you showing you how to make these components, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, well here we go. I'm going to start out with my piece of 20 gauge wire, and I'm going to make a kink in the wire at about where I think I'm going to need to be. And actually I got it a little bit long, so let's just chop just a little bit off here. Now for this particular link, oh, and I did want to tell y'all, I have decided on mine that I want to do simple loops. If you are not as comfortable with simple loops as you are with wrapped loops, you certainly can use wrapped loops and do the same thing. And you can either link them together, or you could put them together with jump rings. It's completely up to you. But I have my simple loop here. Next, I need a component with the small pearl. So I'm putting on a 4mm bicone, a 4mm pearl, and another 4mm bicone. The pattern that I've been using is 2 of the 8mm pearls with the 4x6 rondelle, 1 of the smaller components in between sets of 2. So that's what I'm doing here, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to complete this component. I'm going to grab this at the very top of the beads. I've already have my simple loop here. I have it here with my pliers, and I'm going to kink it 90 degrees just like so. And then the way I measure where I want to cut my wire is with the width of my finger. You'll need to find what works for you as far as the length of where you need to be when you cut, if you're doing simple loops. Like I said, if not, you can certainly do wrapped loops. I remember when I first started doing simple loops, I found them very, very difficult. It took me a lot of practice to get to where I was comfortable with them and that they looked decent. So don't feel bad if you struggle still with this type of loop. Just use your wrapped loops until you've practiced enough to feel comfortable with what you're doing. Now I have this component completed, and that's what I need right here. I need one of the small ones. So how I'm going to add it is I'm going to open it like a jump ring, attach it to the component that's already there, and then just close it back like so. Okay? Now this is the front of our necklace here where I have our clasp. So I'm just kind of watching my length, trying to make sure I don't get it too long or anything like that. I'm going to do one more of these for you, with you, and then we're going to do the drop that we're going to put on our necklace here. Okay, so the next thing we need is one of the 8mm pearl components. So I'm going to grab my wire, kink it the 90 degrees, put it at the length I wanted. I got it a little long. Do my simple loop here. The way I do it is I hold my wire flush with my round nose pliers like that. And then I just kind of roll my wrist just like that. And then reposition the pliers to grab the wire again, bring it on around, go slow so you have more control. We're not doing a race here. We want these to be pretty and not fast. So take your time if you're doing it this way. You can adjust your wire a little bit just by holding it right with your pliers. See, I kind of took my pliers here where I have room to put the entire loop and just moved my end here a little bit to center that loop over my wire better. Okay. So the next thing I need is one with the larger crystal, a larger pearl, and another one of our 4x6 rondelles. Okay. Then again, grab it at the very top of the beads, as close to the end of your pliers as you can. Kink it the 90 degrees. Cut it to the length you need it to make your loop. And complete your simple loop. Okay. Roll it towards yourself or away, however works for you, till you have that closed. If you need to, put your pliers in there, kink it a little bit, and bring it on in. And there's our other side of our simple loop. Now for this particular design, you do want your loops to be parallel, like that. Okay. Now we're ready to open this side of our component. Add it where we need it, and close it back down. Okay. Here we go. Now we have our necklace so that we have the same on each side. Now what I'm going to do is show you what we're going to hang off the bottom here. Now the beauty of this kind of clasp is it opens like so. So you use that as your opening to put your necklace on and off, but the drop that we're going to put here can be on or off. It's just a matter of what you want. So it gives you kind of two ways to wear one necklace, which I always love. Sometimes your neckline just needs one thing or another, and if you have something adjustable like that, that gives you an opportunity to make it fit what you wear for the day. Okay, I'm going to take my 22 gauge wire and make a head pin to put this crystal on. Okay, the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to make sure I have a flush cut first of all. Okay, we have a flush cut. I'm going to grab the wire with the smallest end of my round nose pliers, and I'm going to start rolling it to make loops. Keep your wire tight. And you're going to want 3 loops. Now, if your wire gets loose like this did, take your pliers and just squish it like so. Oop, be careful though, don't do it too hard like I just did. Okay, now I'm going to hold this piece right at where the loop is, and I'm going to kink it up 90 degrees, just like that. Okay, then I'm going to bring this wire on around and put it through the loops I made, like so. I'm going to grab that with my pliers and pull. I want to pull this down to make a little rosette style head pin. And then I'm just mashing that out so that I can make it flat. And put it at my 90-degree angle like I want it. Okay, just going to put our crystal on. And now I can do whatever kind of loop I want to. Okay, grab it with your pliers, kink it, rotate your pliers up to the corner like that. Come up and over, and then move your pliers around. Take that onto the back and stop right there, because we're going to put this onto the rest of our component. Okay, so put that aside and let's make the rest of our component. Oh, excuse me, just 1 second. Go. I'm so sorry, you guys. The cat was at the door screaming, and I can't listen to one of my animals scream. So, I have to take care of them. Okay, let's make another component. Hold your wire, kink it, cut it to an appropriate length, and do your simple loop. Now, as I said, if you're not comfortable with simple loops, do wrapped loops and use jump rings. It's okay. I'm doing the simple loops because I'd like to see y'all get comfortable with it. It's a great technique once you master it. Okay, now for our drop, I'm putting on one of the 4x6 rondelles, an 8mm pearl, and another rondelle. Okay, and I'm going to do another simple loop on the other end. Kink it, cut your wire, and roll your loop. Flush with your pliers, roll your wrist. Move your pliers around, bring it on around. Just adjust your pliers where they need to be so that you can close that loop and have it look right. And now I'm going to make sure my loops are perpendicular, or going the same way like that. Okay, now I'm going to see, I'm not sure that's going to fit. It's not. I'm going to grab a jump ring to put right here to hang from our piece here. So let me do that. I'll just use the same jump rings as I did to put these on. So that's an 8mm jump ring. Okay. I'm going to open our jump ring side to side. Put our drop on. Put that on our clasp. Okay, there we go. And now I'm going to open my loop here, slide that component on, close it back down, and I'm going to wrap. Okay, cutting off the excess wire, And I'm going to tuck the excess wire down so that nobody gets scratched and nobody's clothing gets snagged. All right, now here's the front of our necklace. If you don't want this on here, you can slide it right off. Not a problem. Okay? Now for this part, it's just a matter of continuing to make the stations until we get it to the length we want it. So that's what I'm doing on the necklace. I think I'm actually going to put 2 more of these up here just to give it more interest. So let me show you what I was thinking for the earring. Basically, I'm thinking the very same thing. One component like this with this drop. Okay? So I'm going to go off screen, make up some components, and I'll be back with you to finish both pieces up, both our earrings and our necklace. Okay? So I'll be back in a very short time. Okay, guys. Well, here we are all finished up, and I just love this. I hope y'all do. The pattern goes all the way around, of course, and then our opening and closing is at the front on our necklace. For our earrings, I did a single pearl at the top because I didn't want this component attached to the ear wire, and then just dropped the same drops here below. So that's what we have. Pretty simple, not too difficult. I'm sure you can do it. When I post this, I will leave the number of each bead and so forth that you will need to make it the same length. Mine came out, let me measure it real quick for you. The necklace part is about 20 to 21 inches without the drop. So you can adjust the size, of course, accordingly. You can use whatever you want to for the wire, the beads. You could do this with any kind of bead. I just happened to choose crystals and pearls. If you use different sizes of beads, you may need to adjust the number of pieces you'll need to complete it. But if you have any questions about it, please do leave me a comment. I appreciate y'all being here. We're having some pretty bad thunderstorms today, so I'm not sure I'll be able to get another video out. I expect that our internet may go down. So, one of those days. Welcome to Florida in the summertime. Okay, guys, take good care of yourselves. I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye-bye.